Okay, so let the vlogging adventures begin. I decided last night on a whim that, well, no, I've been thinking about it for a while, but I want to vlog because there are things that pop into my head or epiphanies that I have that that are useful to me, and I think maybe they'll be useful to others. And I want to share that. So, with that being said, the most recent profound epiphany that I've had, and specifically this year, was around vulnerability. The girl with the purple hair and half-shaved head who does music and all sorts of stuff. I'm not a very private person. I am, but I'm not. So I'm very open about what I think, how I feel, expressing myself. Right? So vulnerability is like crucial, and our entire social structure condemns it in a way, right? Sounds really negative, but it's true. So we have like this inclination that vulnerability is naivety, and you can't be vulnerable and not naive, okay? Unfortunately, that's false. You can choose to be vulnerable knowingly, like with intent. Vulnerability is like the core of connection. We're only vulnerable with special people. That's not true. We choose that. And then we limit ourselves and we don't learn from others. We don't connect with others because vulnerability is seen as intimate or as naive if it's with people. So see, like, I mean, I catch myself doing it. I'm not perfect. I don't ever claim to be. I'm always curious about so many things. And that has led me down to so many explorations, and 10 years of studying, well, more than a decade of studying different cultures and different religious belief systems. And I'll say the most enriching viewpoints that I have discovered myself would be those that touch on it's okay to be vulnerable. We have this huge gap between each other. It's amazing how much we resist vulnerability and thus fight ourselves. So I truly believe that as human beings, as emotional creatures who need to express emotion, you can say you bottle it up and you do just fine. You don't. It comes out some way, okay? In my years of counseling others and working with kids and expression and art and everything that I do, in a nutshell, as emotional creatures, we want to be vulnerable safely, right? We want to be vulnerable. The problem is we fear safety of vulnerability. So I want to encourage people to be vulnerable with others. Know that you're safe, right? You're safe. I mean, put yourself in physical safety. Strive for that, right? Because we all need physical safety. But emotional safety, you can't control what people say, think, or do. And if you worry about what everyone thinks of you, will be sadly disappointed in life. There are going to be people who love the fact that you don't care. Like, they're like, that's amazing. You can be authentically you, and you don't give a shit what people think. No. Don't. Strive to be the best person you can be. Like, don't be an asshole. Be okay looking in the mirror and adjusting yourself accordingly to the things that you want to aspire to in life. But be vulnerable. Be you. Be authentic. Because that is the cornerstone of human connection. And that is what helps us understand each other. That's what, like, it completely dissolves boundaries as far as thinking about, like, how we're all different. You can accept a lot more if you're vulnerable. And the reality is that's where the core of curiosity is. Your childlike curiosity is the fruit of creation. Without it, well, there wouldn't be much. And we limit ourselves. As we get older, our curiosity, our creativity can tend to wither away with all the shame and the doubts that we put upon ourselves, right? Self-shame, which results in doubt. And then there's the social shame, which also results in doubt and fear. Fear is never good. Steer away from fear. Like, don't do it. It's frustrating. Because it's kind of like, if you're vulnerable, you allow yourself to be vulnerable. Like, I have strangers talk to me about taboo content, right? And most people are like, oh, don't do that. They get really defensive and close it down, and it becomes something that you don't learn from. I have no problem entertaining some weird conversations with people. And the reason I have no problem with it is because I learn from it. And they possibly learn from me. Sorting out whatever it is they want to sort out in the conversation that we're having, whatever have you. Like whatever it contains. It can be lots of different things. But the reality is I'm not going to shut someone down if they're not being disrespectful to me. If they're just freaking curious, I am okay with that kind of conversation. Because that is the cornerstone of human connection. And inspiring others and keeping your curiosity alive. Because without the curiosity, we would be at a standstill. You don't have geniuses creating all these things that help society because they limited themselves to a small frame of thinking. Curiosity expands everything. And some people look at some of those geniuses when they were younger, the ideas that they had told them they were crazy. Crazy. You're crazy. Never gonna work. They still did it. And that's because being unapologetically you and going after the things that you're curious about, just exploring, is the biggest thing you can do for yourself, but not just that. Like, it's a trickle-down effect. It ripples through everything you come in contact with. It literally transforms the world around you. So why make everything black and white when you could live in full color? Be vulnerable. And let go of shame and fear, because it is really not doing anyone any good. Till next time, guys.